What's up, everybody, and welcome back to part 2 of my feeding video. Before I get to feeding, a couple of updates. I mentioned in the last video, part 1, if you didn't see that, go back and watch it, that I had a couple of tarantulas that I tried to feed that normally feed off camera, and this is proof positive right here. This is a Phaunopelma annex number 2, the one that rejected the food. Of course, it took down after I turned the camera off. I've got one more tarantula that did the same thing. I'm going to show that to you, and then we're going to start feeding some more tarantulas. And this is my Brachypelma albicipsling, which I said always or normally does takedowns off camera. Of course, it did. If you watched part 1, if you didn't go back and watch that, I know I've already said that, you'll notice that in part 1 that it was straddled across this bottle cap. The tarantula was, and the roach ran around underneath it for a while. And of course, it always does that. It will act like it's not interested, and as soon as you stop videoing, it does a takedown. So there we go. That is the updates. Let's feed some tarantulas. Alright, so here we have a tarantula that most of you will probably recognize. If you're new to this channel, this is Augie, my mature male Chromatopelma cyanopubescens. We haven't seen him in a while because there's not been a whole lot going on with him. I did send him out a couple of months ago, probably to California on a breeding loan. He did successfully insert with 2 females. One female made a sack probably a week ago. A few days later, unfortunately, she ate it. So we're waiting on the second female to see if she drops. So we may have some baby Augies out there, or we may not. Most of you probably know that GBBs are notoriously hard to breed, so if the second female doesn't make a sack, we tried, but there's this guy right here. We can still look at the beauty of him. Now let's see if he's hungry. He hasn't had much of an appetite since he matured, and he does a lot of that kind of stuff. He acts like he's, you're disturbing him or you're bothering him. And then eventually he'll take the food. I don't know if he will this time. Mature male's focus is just on making babies, and he's tried. I don't think that he knows that he hasn't been successful yet. But you can see here, I don't think that he's going to take the food for us. But there you go, guys. That was Augie, my male GBB. Let's move on to another tarantula. Alright, so I forgot to mention there that Augie was my first tarantula, and this beauty right here was my second tarantula, and my first old world tarantula. She is currently one of my favorites and one of my most valuable. This is Phoebe. She molted about 3 weeks ago. Let's see if she is ready to eat. Look how gentle she's being. This is just more advocacy for the Harpactira guys. Just because they are an old world tarantula and they occasionally throw a cute little threat posture, these guys are not aggressive, and they're normally not very defensive either. They're usually more skittish, but Phoebe herself is actually quite docile. I thought she was going to climb the tweezers there, so I'm just going to let the roach go. Look how gorgeous she is. She is close to mating size, so I'm hoping in the next molt or two that if the other one that I have doesn't turn out to be male, that I can find somebody with a male, because I really want to breed these and possibly sell them. These are one of the crown jewels, in my opinion, in the tarantula world. But that's just my opinion. I'm going to step back and let you look at this beautiful girl for just a second while I take a drink. I mean, are you kidding me right now? This tarantula is mind-blowing, its beauty. It's just it's so hard to believe that a spider, something we're so scared of, can be so beautiful. But there you go. That's proof positive right there. Okay, let's go see if we've got some other hungry tarantulas. We bragged on this girl long enough. Alright, so some of you may recognize this handsome fellow here. This is Stanley, my male Brachypelma auratum, the Mexican flame knee. This is my absolute, so far, my absolute favorite of the Brachypelma genus. This guy here is, suspecting is penultimate, but he may have as many as 2 molts left in him. It's been, gosh, a month at least or longer since he's molted. He's fed since then, and he's a pretty enthusiastic feeder. So let's put some roaches in and let's see what happens. This was my first Brachypelma auratum. And although he's a male, I love him to death. He's gorgeous. And he's going to do like some of the tarantulas in the first video did and not feed on camera. Wow. Like I said, that's the life of a tarantula keeper. Since he molted, he's been a very, like I said, enthusiastic feeder. He's still got 1 roach underneath him. And he has not moved yet. That just goes to show you from one day to the next, 1 week to the next, how these guys can be. I would like to point out these colors, but sadly my lights are kind of drowning it out, and if I don't have the lights on, you can't see enough. I'm hoping eventually to get better equipment, but of course I have to learn how to video better and edit better first. But I hope to get some better equipment later on to really capture the beauty of the animals I have in my collection, because I'm quite proud of them. This one's not going to feed for us. I've got 1 more that I'm going to try to feed, so let's move on. And of course, most of you may recognize this gorgeous creature right here too. This is Ruby, my female Brachypelma auratum. Unfortunately, I don't think that there is a breeding project in the works between Stanley and Ruby, because Stanley is at about 4 inches or so and Ruby's at maybe 3, so she is behind him. Unless I could slow his growth rate down and speed hers up, I don't think that I'll get babies from those 2 together. But once Stanley matures, I would love to send him out to someone that has a female, and then once this girl matures, hopefully I'll be a little more experienced in breeding and keeping baby tarantulas, and I can find somebody with a male and pair this girl to him. But for now, this girl, like I said, she molted, it was almost 2 weeks ago. It was like 3 days shy of 2 weeks. So we're going to see if she's hungry. Now, after her last molt, she was a voracious feeder. She would take anything I dropped in there. So let's see if anything changed in this last molt. Of course, after the last molt, I fed her roaches, but she just did not hesitate to jump on anything I put in there. In fact, I think I fed her mealworms after her last molt, and there was times when she took 2, 3, or more in her mouth. Not sure what that was about, so I don't know if that was a do not disturb me or what. Oh, nope, that was didn't know what that was at first, but now I realize it's food kind of reaction. Now, watch this. I guarantee she's going to do the same thing as she did last time. You saw she took that mealworm there. Sorry, my camera won't sit up. See how quickly she snatches up the second one. If I could drop it in the right... Oh, just let her find it. There she goes. There's a second one. And what the hell, why not? Let's go for 3. It's been a month since she's eaten. I bet she'll do it. This girl loves to eat. Am I lying or am I lying? This girl loves to eat. Look at that mouthful of food. Nom, nom, nom. My experience with both of my erratum so far. Kind of like some of my other tarantulas, like my Davus pensiloris and even my Harpactira pulchripes. They can be skittish at times, but it's not like bolty skittish. They get skittish for a second or two and then they just kind of chill out. So they're pretty docile species. I mean, I just been in my experience with the ones that I've had, so I can't promise that on everyone's tarantulas, but excuse me, she's a bit smaller, so her colors are not quite as pronounced. But look at the beautiful colors on these tarantulas, guys. They are just absolutely gorgeous. I'm in love with these creatures. They're just so beautiful. Excuse me, I got a tickle in my throat. Okay, I've got one more creature I want to try to feed on video, and then I'm going to end this because it's time to eat some dinner and get ready for bed. So let's see what's coming up next. All right, so this is an animal we've probably only seen once or twice on my channel since I got it. This is my female Scolopendra dehani, the giant Vietnamese centipede. I have fed it. I've just never had it feed on camera. I'm just trying to give you what looks I can of it, which is nothing now because it crawled underneath the substrate, but I'm hoping that maybe I will drop a few roaches in there and maybe it will come out for us and we can see it. You can see it moving substrate and leaf litter and stuff around, but not quite coming out. So let's dump some roaches in and let's see what happens. These creatures are known to be quite reclusive and shy, so that's why I don't get much footage of it. I'm going to pause for a second, and she starts moving. I will resume recording. Well, unfortunately, these animals are fascinating when you can see them, but other than that, they tend to be like the movie Tremors. They just vanish. Here she is. I can just get a look at her really quick. There she is, being very, very shy. And I don't think I'm going to get her, unfortunately, to take any prey down on camera. But I will leave the roaches in there because she will eat them eventually. And then I'm going to put back all of her sphagnum moss and all that stuff like she had it in her nice little nest. I have known other people that have had dehanis that shortly after they get them, they burrow and then you never see them anymore. Well, she's out most of the time. But she gets bashful once you move her enclosure around and turn lights on, things like that. So I don't think we're going to see her eat on camera, but there she is. She is probably 6 inches. She's at best 6 inches. And that's half grown for this species. So any of you are creeped out by centipedes, there you go. Well, that was the end of part 2. Sorry it wasn't any more exciting than part 1 was. Oh, wait. And there we have a takedown. Just as soon as I start talking trash, there she goes. And she grabbed herself a male red runner. I'm going to start doing that with her. And, every once in a while I've got to cull my red runner males because they will fight and kill each other and they will eat others' offspring. So you want to keep the male numbers down. So every time I do, what I'm going to do is just put them in her enclosure because you see she does not disappoint. That is the end of feeding video. The part 2 of this feeding video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and a comment. Let me know that you did. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not done that. Share this video with your friends if you think they think it's cool and they would like it. And don't forget, guys, take care of yourselves and each other. I hope you have a great day or a great night wherever you are. Catch you on the flip side. God bless.